You think you can go 2 for 2 on a prediction on how the second fight goes? Because that's some Greg Damas if you can do it twice in a row.
Listen, man. If you can't tell, man, that fight with them two, with Lamont and Tank, that's just gonna be what it is because they are tailor made for each other. That next fight is gonna be so good. They might have to do it 3 times, bro. I'm telling you. The styles just contrast really good. You know what I mean? They go together. That's gonna be a challenge for both of them each time out. So we might be seeing a third fight with them. That's all I'm gonna say. That's gonna be good.
You think there will be any different adjustments, or you think the fight's gonna look the same? Just like two guys that are
I
being
mean,
competitive and
the adjustments that need to be made on Tank side is Tank need to work behind his jab more, and Tank need to focus more on combination punching. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to get the knockout all the time. For Lamont's gonna have to be first. Lamont has to be first and has to get to that body. You know what I'm saying? Those are the adjustments in my eyes. You
mhm.
know what I mean? But who knows?
think potentially Tank could come into this fight. Um, I wouldn't say more focused, right? Because I feel like that discredits Lamont. But I know that there was a lot of potential distractions, right? The Jake Paul maybe on the line, for whatever reason, working with Barry and the camp. But just in a sense where now he knows that, all right, I've kind of dodged a bullet with this draw. Need to really,
Hmm.
be on top of it. So, is it a potential that Tank kind of completely changes the fight in its an entire course and just dominates what people thought was he was supposed to in the first place?
Anything can happen, but I'm gonna be honest. I think he gave Lamont a certain type of confidence that's going to be hard to take back. You know what I mean? He was, because we got to remember, Lamont wasn't even competitive at 135. He was champion at 130. Now we talk about him being competitive at 135. I'm pretty sure he had a few questions and they definitely got answered that night about himself. You know what I mean? So he found out not only can I compete at 35, I'm at the top of the food chain because Tank is supposed to be the best at 35 or one of the best. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So it's going to have to be some great adjustments getting made on Tank's side. I don't know what he was going through that night. That's not my business, but yeah, I know that fight was very close. I thought a draw was deserving. And I don't know. I don't know. The next one gonna be good
Yeah, I think they're talking about maybe it being in Vegas, and that's major. A Vegas
for
fight.
sure.
Um, you know, um, there's word that Keyshawn Davis is gonna fight De Los Santos.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Good idea, bad idea. How does that go as a homecoming fight as a champion now?
I think it's a good idea because it's a guy that we have questions about, meaning De Los Santos. We seen De Los Santos in there with Shakur, and it wasn't fair to either fighter how the fight turned out because they really didn't fight. You know what I mean? They really didn't fight. It was just a lot of moving around. You know what I mean? A lot of people gave Shakur backlash, but Shakur did what he could with one hand. De Los Santos didn't force the issue neither. So I think it was both of their doings. You know what I'm saying? Now, for Keyshawn to take that fight with De Los Santos, knowing that De Los Santos is dangerous, he's awkward, he can punch, he got good speed. You know what I'm saying? That speaks volume to who he is as a fighter. He could have probably fought anybody. You know what I'm saying? To fight De Los Santos, I think he trying to make a little bit of a statement. You know what I mean? And it's a good opponent. We can't disrespect De Los Santos. Really good fighter. So I'm really intrigued to see what happens in that fight.
There's an interesting storyline that's gonna come out if Keyshawn like destroys De Los Santos, right? Like he
Mm,
destroys them, makes it look easy, and
yeah,
normally what happens is where if a fighter fought someone and someone did better than them, and especially when they're both champions in a weight class, it's
yeah,
already something that fans are trying to pit between Keyshawn and Shakur. They've kind of already been like, look, we're brothers. We're not going to fight each other.
yeah,
So, but in a way that because they're not fighting each other and Keyshawn's like the little bro on the scene, if he
yeah.
outperforms De Los Santos, does that do something to Shakur? Because there's no really way to settle that because, unless Shakur gets the tank fight. But you know what I mean? Like, does that now put Shakur in a position where I'm rooting for my guy to do the best he can. But damn, he knocked him out. We have different styles. I've been trying to explain people style makes fights, yada yada. But now, what does that dynamics do? Like, does that kind of like take away a little bit of shine from Shakur? Because he was injured. He claimed he wasn't feeling well. There's circumstances, and
Yeah,
now he's in a position with little bro. If you blast him out now, so
yeah.
I guess it's just tricky. And I just wanted like I guess your thoughts on it.
Here's the thing I've been thinking about with Shakur. Shakur might be one of those guys, super talented, super skilled, but the injuries going to hold them back, like a Derrick Rose of basketball. You know what I mean? Derrick Rose is a great point guard, but we didn't get to see everything he can do simply because of the injuries. That might be Shakur's story. We don't know. The best thing to do though is just continue to be yourself and get the fights that you can get. Being obsessed with Tank and trying to get that fight, I wouldn't even really entertain it anymore. You know what I mean? You are who you are. You have your own career. You know what I mean? Make things happen. The more Shakur continues to fight and to perform, the more people won't even think about that fight with De Santos anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Got to do what you got to do. I get what you saying though. People would definitely highlight that, but if you look at the two styles, if you look at the two the body frames and everything, everything's just different when you talk about Keyshawn. The intensity level is different, the body work is different, you know what I mean? And they are of the same level because they both were silver medalists. So, you know what I mean? We talking about two great fighters, but it's just two different storylines, you know what I mean?
Does it get frustrating now? Like, because I know that you and Shakur have kind of built a relationship. I've seen, and he's done an interview on your channel, Greg
Hmm.
Hackett, or should I say GHB TV or Greg Hackett?
GHB TV, yep.
Okay, so if you guys haven't subscribed, check it out. But yeah, he came on your platform. You did an interview with him, and he, outside of like the health stuff that you've highlighted, right? Kind of stuff that
Hmm.
Paulie's went through and Floyd and other great fighters had to make adjustments, but he's also dealing with political nightmares, right? He goes over, signs somewhere, doesn't get the fights that he wanted, 100% didn't work his way if it's their fault or not. Then he goes over Matchroom, the Kid Austin fight kind of weirdly falls out, and
Yeah.
then giving them benefit of doubt. If he was sick, then hope everything's okay. But if not, then I don't know. It's weird, but I guess I can't really knock him because of Daniel Dubois got sick too, so it must have been something. But now he's dealing with other political things, right? Now it seemed like Turkey was allegedly having a number. Shakur's kind of doubled down, saying like, "Hey, it's not the number. Now I want to force the route of a purse bid," which we've seen fighters not do the mandatory purse bid and go somewhere else. So like, he's in a political nightmare. So like, how discouraging, or like outside of just doing the best you can, if you can't get these guys like Zapate and stuff, and they're clowning you for fighting guys like last minute replacement, the electrician, Patty. Like, what do you do to stay positive when your hands are hurting, you can't get the fights, and when you are getting a stoppage against a guy like Patty, it took too long. Right? It took a little bit longer than it should be, and I might be guilty too. I might have felt, maybe this should feel a bit longer, but why am I feeling this way? Like, I might be a hypocrite myself about it, but it just seems like everything that should be going good for him, like you got the stoppage, it just didn't seem like enough. Like, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just, he's just kind of getting a lot of the political side of it. Like, how do you stay focused through that?
You embrace what it is. This is just my life. You know what I mean? This is just what I have to go through. So here's the thing, right? I don't even like cars. I'm not a fan of cars. Like, and so fixing cars is not even my thing. Yeah, if I need to change the tire, I do know how to do that. But I'm not a car guy. Does that make me less of a man because I'm not a car guy? Or does that make me less of a man because I'm not a computer tech type of guy? You know what I mean? I'm not one of those guys. Like, everybody's different, and everything you go through is going to be different. You know what I mean? But it's going to be similarities in what we go through. So I can't the same way I can't say I'm less of a man because I'm not a car guy. I can't say that another guy's less of a man because he don't know how to hold his hands. You know what I'm saying? So Shakur going through what he going through, he just had to understand this is life, and you got to take what come with it. As long as he continue to win, he'll be okay. He'll be okay.
Do you think that the situation with him and Turkey will get worked out? Just being optimistic.
I think it'll definitely get worked out. It's just that somebody put something in Turkey's head, I think, about Shakur, or either maybe he don't really like Shakur or not like him. I ain't gonna say that because I don't know what it is, but maybe he's just not his type of guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But here's the thing: Turkey is not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, it's got to be somebody they want you to fight. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be
Hmm.
something they want to see. Just stay ready. Just stay ready. All Shakur got to do is stay ready and get the win.
Yeah, because at some point, I guess he'll be a mandatory, right? But then they'll vacate the title again, and then
Yeah.
it's Shakur's situation is just it's like almost like a Winky Wright, like someone
There
has
you
to
go.
give him an opportunity. He can't get an opportunity; he has to just get an opportunity. So someone has to look at Shakur and be like, "I'll give it to you." And
But what it is, honestly, with Shakur, his style is so clean. Guys don't want to go in there and deal with that. You know what I mean? This is Shakur is the ultimate chess match. Here's why. He's not going to make too many mistakes, and he's not going to give you what you want. So mentally, the average man crashes out after 4 rounds. What I mean by that is they get stuck in their ways by the first 4 rounds. So we got another 8 rounds of fighting, and wherever he's at in that first four, that's where he gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Shakur is making adjustments every round. Shakur is paying attention to where he's at every round. You know what I'm saying? He's keeping his measurements through the entire fight. That's hard to be up against. And that's really the issue with Shakur. That's why they try to downplay him because he's so great at what he does. People don't want to be up against it. So they try to make all these excuses. It shouldn't be no excuses. All of these guys should be fighting each other.
yeah, no, I agree, and it's unfortunate. I think at a certain point where the lightweight division's at limbo, and he's probably gonna have to jump up another weight class, and who's gonna fight him, at
Yeah,
140. So,
for sure.
well, look, I don't want to take a lot of your time, Greg, and I know that you working with a lot of people yourself. So, if there's any people that you're working with I can highlight, or any names, or just people that you want to put on and just shine a little bit, more than welcome to just talk about them.
No, man, you know me. I'm working with Joseph Ortiz, 13 and one record with 7 knockouts at featherweight, and Jabril Noble at 130, 135, 6 and 05 knockouts. Just look out for him.
Yeah,
Jabril Noble, Joseph Ortiz.
yeah, I
Yep.
know. I think Jabril has been making some noise, throughout, and
We've been trying, but it's tough getting him fights.
yeah.
It's tough. Yeah.
Who's he signed with? Just or
No
just
promoter.
ugh, just
I
just
know. I
just.
know.
Well, I'm sure you'll get the notoriety, man. You've been, like I said, you've been killing the commentary, and a
Yeah.
lot of people has been definitely bigging you up big time. So I'm happy to see all the success, and it's been probably a long time coming because you've been doing commentary and breakdowns for years. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
before I even was on with Fight Hype, you had breakdowns on Fight Hype. So I'm just happy to
Yeah.
see, all your praise now, right? So, but where
Appreciate you.
where can they follow you on social media and things like that? If
Greg Hackett 86 on Instagram, Greg Hackett 215 on X, Greg Hackett on Facebook, and GHB TV on YouTube.
awesome.